understand, like, there are those rough seasons that get you to, that glorified.
That's true.
Right.
You have to get through that rough patch.
Right.
That's
That
so
is
true. Because a lot of people, we always look at the glamorous stuff. We look at the stuff that's like that gets the attention. But we get so caught up in that we don't even recognize the season that we're in at the moment. Because maybe things might be going a bad way at the moment because God is trying to test you. He's trying to see how He can mold you and how you can grow from those different things. But we get so caught up in wanting to be in that season where the fruit is coming in that we miss out on the lessons that we are supposed to be learning.
Exactly.
And then we end up not ever making it to the season that we're supposed to be in.
And sometimes people give up in those seasons.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yes, you do.
And so, like, those dark seasons, those rainy seasons, like, you need that. Like, if you look at an actual plant, like, you got to be able to water the land. Like, it's a process before that plant starts taking root. And so if you fall off,
If you trust me, you
That's
get what
the
I'm
main
saying?
thing, trusting
If you
Him.
can just trust Him and know that everything is going to work out because He's not about to have you out here
No.
looking
Right.
He gotta
you feel like you're crazy, like, wait a second.
Exactly.
At the end, what's so crazy is like we think that we know better than God, and at the end of the day, He always come on top at the end. And we be like,
He just laughing like, I don't know why they stressing out. I got y'all. I don't know why y'all stressing out. I got y'all. But we stressed out because we human.
Yeah.
We all stressed out.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I created this platform. I don't know if you know, Rodney, but I created this platform so we can all come together and talk about our issues and talk about our problems without being boxed in. Because a lot of times Christians feel like, they have to be boxed in. They have to be like so good and be perfect, but we're not perfect.
Yeah, I was wondering what that title
Yeah,
was.
that's why the title.
I was like, wait a second, y'all might be trying to
No, it's like we talk about.
claim out now. Y'all is still working on it.
Yes, exactly. He's working on all of us each and every day. Yes, all the time. So that's the reason why I came up with the name, because we're not always Christians all the time, and we just need a wake up call sometimes. Like, hey, we're gonna check you, but we're gonna still love you here in this
In
platform.
the real walk though, because it's like everybody want to make it, just they want to glorify the good things. Like we talked about the good season.
Yeah, we was talking about that last week. Remember, we only showed a good season.
You see what I'm saying? And we're not gonna be perfect. He doesn't. We all have an old sin nature.
Right.
Yeah.
Once Adam bit that apple, we was fried. I'm sorry.
Right.
And once Eve bit
Always trying to
that
blame it on the man.
Yes,
Get it back, please.
we always blaming on the man.
apple, he take a bite of it.
He
You
did.
know what I'm
He
saying?
did.
So he's saying,
Let me get some of that.
Yes.
It was Eve and Adam, but you know what I'm saying? Once that happened, we got our old sin nature.
Yeah.
And so we are going to fall, but that's exactly why we have to keep feeding our minds, keep feeding ourselves with what God has to say and what His word says, basically. Because we say we love Him, but if we love Him, we gotta follow His commandments, right?
That's
And
true.
it's not easy at all times. But
Right, it's
that's
not,
why
it's
we have
not.
1 John 1:9, and we gotta just confess our sins and we get it back to going.
I think what I also would like add into that is that, Jesus really didn't look for the perfect person. When He was on His journey and meeting these random people, He didn't, He went for the people that He saw that He can speak to. The people that possibly could look at Him and say, hey, you know what? I can see change. I can see forgiveness. And that's what I think I love the most. He was a teacher. He didn't say, I'm going to give it to you all at once and then you're going to figure it out from there. No, follow me along this journey and let me show you what I can do along the way. And if you have a faith and a positive nature and you know that, you're a true believer, without a doubt, somebody could say something to you and you can follow those steps, if those steps is meant to be followed. So of course He blesses us with intuition, and be thankful for that, because women surely got that.
Yes, we definitely got that. But I think Rodney got some intuition too. That's why he became so successful, and we get ready to tap into his successfulness. So tell us how did. Right. Throw some of that over here. Yeah, sprinkle a little bit all over the place. So tell us, how did everything start from high school, after high school to now? Because I know it's a lot.
Yeah, it was a journey.
Yeah.
It was a real journey. Like, left high school, ended up going to school in Miami, and then, briefly in Miami, and then I ultimately ended up in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And so in Atlanta, that was, coming from Lamar, coming from Houston, like, we were used to being around us, but then you get to Atlanta with Clark and Morehouse.
Oh, yeah.
And like it was an eye opener, and And so while I was there, I ended up recognizing how big of that HBCU, the historically black college and university market was. And so while I was in college, I started up a magazine.
Okay, I think I remember you doing the
It
magazine.
was called Look Magazine. It actually
Yeah.
ended up being, I started it probably my sophomore year, and it ended up being one of the largest collegiate magazines in the nation.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so it started off at Clark Atlanta, and then by the time I graduated, we were on over 500 different college campuses from Howard University to Harvard University.
Oh, wow, that's
And so,
amazing.
so it was cool. Like it was a magazine that was geared towards empowering the next generation of leaders. So being in Atlanta and where we were, there was a lot of artists. You know, that was around the time that all of the hip hop artists was really coming up. A lot of people come through Atlanta.
Especially, in Atlanta,
we had
yeah.
really good interviews and stuff, and so we would always talk about, kind of like what we're talking about now. Yeah, we can talk about the new album. Yeah, we can talk about the game that you just did, but let's talk about what it really takes. Like, tell college students what it really takes to persevere and make it and become successful.
Seriously, because
Yeah.
we're missing it. I just graduated.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and there's a lot of things that I wish I could have. I wish I would have had that magazine.
Right, yeah. And so we ended up doing that, and then, you know, that became pretty successful, but then it kind of launched us into other things, and so I ended up going into the music industry at that point, and so was from a marketing standpoint, and so I was working with different labels, and then started working on TV networks and stuff like that. So while I was actually, believe it or not, I toured with a couple of people, and I was on tour with Kirk Franklin and Mary for about 6 months. It was a hero tour. And so it was little things like I would end up negotiating contracts, or I'd be talking to an artist and kind of helping them with different things, and God kept placing it on my heart to go to law school. And my mother was an attorney as well. And so it was kind of always on my mind to do it. And so while I was on tour, I started studying for the LSAT.
Okay.
And so
Hand clap on that one. That's pretty good. That is a blessing. That is a blessing for you to get on that. Yeah.
And so, you know what, it's called a specialty release, and it's exactly how Fruitville Station.
Similar, yeah. Like
Just
Fruitville
like,
Station.
the Precious movie.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't all over.
Yeah, it wasn't all over. And
Yeah.
then once you get the people to get out and support it, and once people see it and they start talking about it, and it garners up the support, then that's, you know.
Well, you definitely have my full support, because I would definitely be in the movie theater this weekend to see it. So for for people that don't know what is an executive producer on a film, can you pretty much tell us what exactly
Absolutely.
do that
I
entail?
get that question all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like anything creative, there's two sides, right? So there's the creative, there's the writing portion of a movie, there's the filming, the cinematography aspect, but then there's that business side that nobody really talks about.
Right.
You know, that has to be there, right? There's the financing of a movie. There is the understanding the distribution channels of a movie. And so what executive producers kind of come in and do is really more on the business side.
Yeah.
Understanding what the budget is going to be, raising the funds. We shot this film for a little over $2 million. And so it was, I think the budget was right at about $2.3 million, which is still considered a pretty modest or kind of a low budget in the film industry. But like when you see this film, you would think that it was shot just like any other film. And so that, and then also too, when you heard me talk about tax credits earlier, in the film process or film business, you know, filmmakers look for locations where you get cities where you can get tax credits, and that's one of the things that helps us finance.
Okay, I never knew that. Okay.
So you look at, like, you know, you see Georgia a lot of times where you see that Georgia peach roll up in
Okay,
the stores,
yeah.
because Georgia has those, Louisiana has them, and we shot this film in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, that was my next question. Where was it filmed
We shot
at?
in Louisville, Kentucky, and so it was funny when they shot it. It was last winter, and I mean, it was like below 18 degrees, and so when
Yes.
when you see George Lopez and Tay Diggs out there running through there in their action scenes and they blowing, you know, smoke out, it was cold. It was cold. So, yep.
So for those who just tuning in, we're talking to Rodney Jones, who is the executive producer on the movie River Runs Red, which is in the theaters today. It started today. And so he was just telling us about the movie. So do you ladies want to add anything else about the industry?
I mean,
Want to add
you know,
anything?
like you were saying in regards to just film and location, tax credits, all those advantages. I remember just when, like maybe in 2008, 9-ish, I started really seeing Louisiana really coming on a map as far as being, you know, a lot of films were coming out there. And I used to be on this website called Hollywood South because I was going to be an actress.
Right.
So, you know, I started seeing Shreveport, then New Orleans, and it's like I'm watching I'm a big fan of the Avengers and all of the different, you know, things like that. And I'm just watching the city or showing the different views. And I'm like, wait, that's downtown New Orleans. Wait, that's Oklahoma. So, you know, just to see how, you know, y'all do pick your areas, but like you say, the tax credits and the advantages on that behalf. And Houston is such a big market. Houston is humongous. And I mean, if we could do what Atlanta does, and we could duplicate that times 3
That's true.
in Houston.
That's
you
so
know?
true.
So many areas. You can't even drive from the north side to the south side in about an hour.
Right.
So-
Right.
There's so many different landscapes here
Yes,
too. You know?
yes.
Definitely, and you would think that we would already be on that level because just about all the traffic that comes to Houston, everybody is like, oh, Houston this, Houston that.
Yeah.
I think, what movie do I know that was even shot in Houston? Jason's Lyric.
Jason's Lyric.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. You know?
Honestly, it was.
And being someone who went to school for this type of stuff, you know, it's like I come home, you know, I'm ready to get out there, but Houston doesn't have anything to offer, and it sucks because not everybody can just move just right away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's when that part where you say we start making opportunities for ourselves.
right.
We start
We start
making
doing
things
awesome.
happen in Houston. Because look,
Yeah.
I could be the one that put Houston on the map.
Yeah,
You could be the one that puts Houston on the map. You know?
It's funny you said Jason Lyric too, because I love that movie.
I-
But one of the problems I had with Jason Lyric is they made us sound country.
Yeah.
It's like you come to
With Jerry
We don't
Krause.
sound like
Yes.
that. We don't sound like that. We do not sound. They make
We
it
we
sound.
are
That's how we sound.
we are country because
Yeah,
when
we are
when I moved to LA, they was like, "Where you from? You from Alabama?" I'm like,
my
wow, you
gosh.
took me that far
I guess
down
it-
south. Like
I
I'm
guess-
from East Texas.
I guess to us it doesn't seem country,
don't seem
but I mean,
Right,
you know,
right.
when we go out, what's up, partner? What's up, Shawnee? They be
Yeah.
like, what?
No,
are you
that's
talking
Atlanta.
about?
Shawnee's
Shorty,
Atlanta.
yeah.
Y'all, bro.
Bro, yeah, what's up, bro?
And so the movie that's similar to yours right now, The Hate
Hey,
You
yeah,
Give.
that was a good movie. That was a real good
Oh
movie.
my God.
I heard a lot about
Tears
it.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
And yet, what I saw in that movie theater was not just, you know, African American
African-
people.
oh,
I
no,
saw
no.
everybody. And if you did not feel a sense of sympathy or just feel some type of living vicariously through these characters, I don't know what you could have done. And it explains the importance of just, you know, being aware of what's going on and quit turning your back on what you don't think is going on.
Right, absolutely. And the thing is, and I think that's one of the main reasons for the movie is like, we hear the storylines, but this movie allows for each character to kind of standpoint, and so everything just kind of comes to life, and you see the story come together, and that's important. So-
Oh yeah. So what else are you working on? What are you working on? Anything else?
So I got so much. I'm working on. I do a lot of real estate investments, and so I'm working on new projects on that front. But from the entertainment side, we have another film that it's called Hell on the Border that we're looking at starting to film in Oklahoma, which is going to actually be a black western.
Okay. Wow.
My grandmother would be
Yeah.
proud.
Your grandma love Western movies.
And so right now, you know, I'm really just focusing on making sure that the life cycle of this film does what it's supposed to do, and then at that point starting to look into other opportunities and other films and then kind of go from there.
Okay. So how can we find you on social media?
Okay, my Instagram is Mr._RJ Law, and then I also have a business Instagram, which is at R Jones Law Group. Is the social media, and then I'm on Facebook, Rodney Jones.
Okay. Now speaking of social media, we're gonna go to Miss Opie.
Hello, everybody.
So what's going on in the social media world, Miss
All
Opie?
right, so for the social media world, I asked the question: do movies today portray what it's like to be African American today? Does it show what we actually go through on a day-to-day basis? And some people said, let's see, underscore Jordy said, at times it still can improve, and being African American and in power is the best way I can see that. Tony Lorene said, some movies do, others don't, like The Hate U Give. I thought it was the perfect portrayal of what it's like. Let's see, I think I have 2 more. Oh yes, Versace Miami 96 said, no way, too many slave movies.
It is a lot of slave movies.
And Rakia Frenchet said, yes, they are proving change can only come if we stick together. And I can understand those things. I think movies today are bringing a lot of the things that we do go through to light, especially with African American men, because you know it's a big ordeal with them even leaving the house. You never know if you're gonna see them when you come back. Just
That's
because
true.
of how cops have been trained to,
Absolutely.
you know, and white privilege and just all these different things. And yes, people might say that's racist. No, it's not. You know, because we're the only race that's being targeted if we really think about it. But I do think that movies are
To get into the goal, another one hit you from the left, another one hit you from the right. It's like you fight Muhammad Ali, right?
Right.
So, you know, my whole thing is, you know, how to avoid them, how to grow from them. And, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, they'll tell you, talk with someone. My cousin called me last night and said, hey, you know, Kyra, I want to talk to you. I didn't know what she wanted to talk about, but I knew that she wanted to talk. So when you're sitting down and you're speaking with them and you really want to say like, well, what's stopping you, or what's not making you go to the next level? And I feel like we let distractions deter us from getting to our goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you can find different ways of how you could maneuver around it, you know, start dodging a couple of those punches, you know, find out what is your zen, you know, what will set you apart from everyone, what will put you in a stance where you can say, hey, you know what? Not today, devil.